Hi guys, welcome back to the Ferrari F12. This is going to be the final video in this three-part series that hopefully you've been enjoying. And if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, go and check those out first and come back here to see the final video and the car complete. In this video, we're going to throw back a couple of weeks and Rourke's going to talk you through some of the final stages of retrimming this car. He's going to be talking about the seats and just talking you through some of the details inside the cabin. Let's cut over to Rourke and see what happened a couple of weeks ago with the car.
A little update on these seat centres. The customer, out of the samples we stitched for him, has chosen the Daytona style but without the holes. Interesting part of the operation is when you stitch these across the seat and then do the centres, you can get peaks in the leather. So we've skived every crossing so the leather's thin, so as you run your fingers over it, it's absolutely smooth both ways. Also on the headrest, the customer has requested we laser etch the horse in rather than having it stitched in like the previous logo. That's a nice little upgrade. It'll look great on the seat. As you can see, the next step is doing the seat sides, and these are underway. We use a very small stitch in here so you can't see it when it's pulled apart and pulled tight. And these will be married onto the sides. Next we'll be going on to fitting the cover. I'd like to get the point how difficult this door panel was to trim. We don't have a pattern we can just peel off the wall, draw around and stitch it all together, because as you could see, the patterns were ruined as we peeled it off. The leather got shrunk in the heat and it also gets stretched, tearing it off. So it's not something we can lay on top of the new hide and replicate perfectly. So recreating this, it's like making a tailor's suit to an individual. Firstly, we drop this stitch line down around the back of the door, and you can see this runs in a groove, and then we do the same around the base. Basically, once we've stitched all this up together, there's a little stitch line in this base corner, so there's fixed points that have to be addressed and attached to the door. And getting all these beautiful concaves in, it's been a nice challenge to perform. And I'm really pleased how it's come out. And as you can see, these airbag logos have been embossed. All the grains go in the same direction, and it's a wonderful panel. And inside the car, the whole cabin's made of a load of individual details that all perfectly perform with each other. As you can see, this center console, the stitch line that goes round also comes around the back of the panel, and when the door's closed, seamlessly flows through the car. We've burnt Mr. Connolly's logo into the leather on the top here, and on the side, nice and subtly on the side of the console. Connolly London have made some beautiful hand luggage to go with this car in the nubuck and then in the leather, matching. And to address the fitment of them, in-house we've also made these beautiful straps to hold the luggage onto the rear shelf. You join me at the boot. I'd like to show you an enjoyable challenge and simplify it a bit. You've got this lovely contour where the leather's dished in and it's not lifting off and peeling back. You have to really push the leather in there, glued up. And what you'll find is it gathers in places. So if you're pulling that leather out to get it flat here, it will gather there. So it's a lovely art to be able to pull all that around without having a build up of surplus materials. There's a lot of hidden gems inside this boot. Not exactly hidden gems, but hidden gems for a trimmer. All these beautiful contours to trim, some fantastic stitch lines in these corners. To get this out lovely and clean was a beautiful challenge. Lots of preparation, and as you can see, all the bits you can't see, all these magnetic boot apertures that fathom your brain are all done, and they look clean and beautiful. It's such a shame to put the boot lid down.
So we're back at the car now. You've just seen Rourke go through some of the final bits of putting this car together, and he's shown you some of the details. You've not seen everything, so let's take a look inside and run through the final details of this interior. As you can see, we've fitted the seats. We've gone for the Daytona style without the holes being punched. That was at the request of Mr. Connolly. It was his preferred design over the samples that Rourke had made in that you've seen in the previous videos. In the last clips you saw the door cards being fitted. They're now complete on the car with the grab handles fitted and the metal parts all refitted, and they look absolutely stunning, I'm sure you'll agree. As you can see, we've got the laser engraving done on the centre console and behind the rear seats. The centre console and all those panels have now been correctly fitted. They're back in the car. All of the hardware for the car's been refitted. The centre console's got its carbon piece in there, which has got your gear controls in it. Looking over the dash, this has all gone back together. Everything works as it should. There's some areas where we've had to slightly modify the panels to get the switches to go back in with the extra thickness of the leather that we've used. Nothing touches. We've used the anti-squeak compound across the leather parts where they touch to stop any noise as you're going down the road. We went out in this car earlier in the week just to test for squeaks and rattles, and we're pleased there was none. So the guys have done a really good job of eliminating any areas that might have caused squeaks and rattles in the cabin. Barry's made up these lovely looking leather floor mats, and we've got the Connolly logo in one and our logo in the other side. This was just a nice little aftertouch that we put in, and they look fantastic. They really just tie the carpet and the cabin together. And then when you take a look in the back, you'll see fitted under the lovely luggage straps is a pair of bags that have been made by Connolly London, the luxury leather goods department of Connolly, and they look absolutely stunning. They've used the nubuck for one and the leather for the other, really just to tie the materials in the cabin together. If you've enjoyed this 3-part series on the Ferrari F12 retrim, if you have and you've got anything to say, drop it in the comments below. Give us a like, think about subscribing to see more content in the future. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.